Welcome to the Hmong Peeps Show, the one and only show that brings you ordinary people sharing extraordinary insights. Well, maybe. Here is your host, Hugh Effin Lee.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chu. Today is December 24th, 2014. It's Christmas Eve, and I want to wish all of you guys a Merry Christmas. I hope your day went well, and I hope you guys got all that you wanted from your Secret Santas or from your family members or friends as far as like presents goes. We're going to celebrate ours tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have food, just like I'm sure all you guys are going to have food, and I'm just going to really enjoy the company of my family, so I'm excited. But today's show is going to be about what I mentioned in the past couple of shows. Today I'm going to actually give you guys a lesson that comes straight out of my mentorship program. Now, my mentorship program, for those of you that don't know about it, I mentor whoever was seeking me out and help them increase their spiritual abilities and gifts. So there's 8 courses, or not 8 courses, there's 8 lessons, and today I'm going to give you guys one of those lessons for free. And this one has to do with how do you connect with your guides and how do you increase communication with them. So here we go, you guys ready? And I hope you guys like this gift that I'm giving you guys. So let's start. Some of us, when we connect with our guides, we get like direct communication or direct information from them, and it can come in the form of telepathic messages, visions, images, feelings, emotions, dreams, anything. Now, we tend to take for granted a lot of the communications they have with us. I mean, it could be as simple as them making a noise when you ask, for example, if you are around me, let me know that you're here. Show me your presence, or let me know that you're that you hear me or that you're around me. And it could be a simple tap. If you're in a room, it could be a simple tap on the wall or on an object that's around you. It could be a noise that is not common in your environment. And if you're outside, you're asking this question. It could be as simple as a wind that comes and blows into your face, your body, or you hear it. So it depends on what you're really looking for too. We have to keep in mind that when we ask for signs from our guides, they are aware of our fears as well. So if you ask them, please let me see you, please let me see you, if they feel like it's necessary and they feel like it's something that you can handle, then they'll do it. But if they know that you have some reservations, your fears, then they won't do it that way, because they might not appear to you as you would want them to appear as, and then that might freak you out, and then ultimately you're going to probably not want to have that experience again. Now, this lesson right here, I believe strongly that it will help those of you who are shamans as well. I know that for folks who are going on that shamanic journey, communication with them is commonly happening when you guys are in trance. But then there's those occasions where they communicate with you when you're not in trance. And I think that if you guys follow what I'm about to share with you, you guys will increase the communication and increase the contact with them. Okay? So how do you do this? And I mentioned before, it is very simple. So simple that we take it for granted as well. So what you need to do is you need to acknowledge them. It's as simple as that. Acknowledge your guides. Some examples are, if you're having some kind of the most common one for me is when I'm driving in traffic, and there's green lights for me for a long time. There's no red lights. To me, I look at it like my guides are helping make this happen so that I can get to where I need to go. So what I do in those situations is I acknowledge them and I thank them. I say, thank you guides for allowing the green lights to turn on so I can get to where I'm going. Another example is, when I'm driving again and I'm merging into traffic. When you're trying to merge onto highway traffic, and as you're going into or merging into the highway, you get an open lane, or you notice that when you merge onto it, you look in your rearview mirror or your side mirrors, and there's like a whole bunch of cars that's coming, but they're still way behind you, and you're able to merge in safely. That happens to me quite often, and when it happens to me, I acknowledge them and I thank them. Now, when you acknowledge them, you don't have to say it out loud. I tend to say it out loud, but it's my thought in my heart that says thank you guides for letting me get into the highway safely. Other things, other examples. For me, when I'm having a tough day and something comes on the radio, or somebody says something to me that hits me really hard and kind of sums up my day, or tells me that it's going to be okay, so that person might say something, hey, you look kind of down today, but hey, it's going to be okay today. Things will get better. To me, I believe that that person spoke to me, and my guides spoke through them to me. So it's a sign and a message that they acknowledge, and they see that I'm having a tough day, and they wanted to remind me that everything's going to be okay. So when that happens, then I'm like, hey, thank you for the reminder, and I acknowledge my guides that way. And think about in your situations. Sometimes when you are in having conflicts with somebody else, or even just with yourself about a situation that you're dealing with, and then out of the blue somebody calls you, or somebody comes to see you, and you have a conversation, then after the conversation you just feel relaxed, you feel calm. And the meeting with that person, whether it's through phone or face to face, was unplanned. I mean, it could even be a total stranger that will come and just have a conversation with you, and then after that you just feel peace. That's a sign of your guides paying attention to you, knowing that you're having a tough day, and so they are speaking through that person. And I've mentioned this too about when I do readings, or when we have the retreats, or when I'm having conversations with people about spirituality. There are often times when I'm not speaking. I mean, I am physically speaking, but the information that's coming out of my mouth is actually from my guides. And so when I'm talking and I realize, where is this coming from? Where is this coming? Where is this information coming? Why am I talking like this? I know that at that point it's not me that's doing the talking, and they're speaking through me to share the information to the people that I'm speaking with. And when that happens, of course, I acknowledge them too. So the key thing here, folks, is acknowledge that your guides are around you. Just thank them. It's very simple. Just thank them and say, hey, thanks for doing what you just did. I know you're here. I know you're watching me. Thank you very much. Continue to watch over me. Continue to help me. Continue to protect me. And they will do that. Now, this is important because, you think about people who acknowledge you. This has nothing to do with spirituality right now, but just think about how people around you acknowledge you and you notice it. Now, when they acknowledge you and they appreciate what you have done for them, it makes you want to be there more for those people. It makes you feel like you actually genuinely want to help, want to offer help. But when you don't get that kind of acknowledgement, for example, at your job, if your supervisor, your boss never acknowledges your great work or your hard work, you don't feel respected or acknowledged that you're a hard worker. You're making them money, or you're doing great work for them, and you just go in there with this attitude of, I'm just going to do my minimum or my standard quota today, and that's it. But when you're actually acknowledged and praised, I know we're not little kids. We don't want our boss or our supervisor to come over to our desk and pat us on the head or on the shoulder and say, "Oh, you're doing such a great job. Thank you so much." Too much of that is overkill. But every now and then, I'm sure most of you are humble people. But every now and then, it's nice to know that somebody appreciates your work and appreciates what you're doing for them. And when you see that they appreciate you, you do have that motivation to work harder or to make their jobs a lot easier. And you're okay with it. But when we don't get that praise or that acknowledgement, and they keep asking us to do more, or always on our asses about not doing enough, it makes us not even want to do anything for those people, right? So I'm sure you guys can relate to that. So we talked about the example of your workplace. Now think about personal relationships with your family members or your friends or your social circle. When people in your circle don't acknowledge you and respect you, I think you more than likely will have that same behavior of, I'm not going to really put forth a lot of effort to help this person because they don't acknowledge that I helped them, or they don't acknowledge that I'm giving my time to them. Then it makes you kind of distance yourself to some degree. But when you think about a friend who, or a family member who is there for you every day. They may not say it to you that they acknowledge and appreciate what you do for them, but their actions say it. They're there for you every day. They're always calling you to make sure you're okay, or just wanted to take you out for a drink or go out to eat dinner. It makes you want to be there more for that person as well. Right? So that is the key thing here. Acknowledge your guides. When something happens around you, just say in your heart or telepathically, or you can say it out loud or even whisper it, "Thank you, guides. Thank you for helping," or "Thank you for making that happen. Thank you." And the more you do this, the stronger the connection is going to be, and the more your guides will see that you acknowledge them, and the more they're going to want to continue to help you or communicate with you in a stronger fashion. Okay, and when I talk about acknowledgement and respect, I want to relate that to shaman folks. You have your altars, and what do you do as far as like acknowledging and showing them that you appreciate your koneng? Okay, what you do is you first of all you have the altar, and then not only that, but you keep it clean. You take care of the altar. You burn your incense. You have whatever you need on the altar. You put it there. And why do you put it there? It all boils down to acknowledgement and respecting them. That's why you guys do it. I'm sure some of you guys do it for other reasons, but I think it's the same message. You're doing that to respect your guides, your shamanic guides, and as a way to acknowledge them that they are there to help you as well. So this applies to shaman folks and non-shaman folks. There's no better or right or wrong faith again, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's the lesson that I think is very important, very simple, but we take it for granted. And maybe some of you guys will not take this for granted. This might resonate very well with you. It might even light up a light bulb for you and say, oh, okay, that makes sense, or I should start doing that. And I encourage you guys to do that, because some of us, nobody's ever explained it to us this way. Maybe we've thought that this might work, or this might be a form of doing it, and then there's nobody that we can validate with to say, yeah, you can try that, or yeah, that's not a bad idea. But this is based on my experience and based on those folks that have given me feedback when I share this lesson with them. They've said that it's made a huge difference in their spiritual growth, and I hope that it does the same for you guys as well. All right, that's pretty much it for today. Today's going to be kind of a short show, but I encourage you guys to do that, and feel free to give me feedback on how, if you decide to use this lesson and apply to your spiritual journey. Let me know how it's helping, or if it doesn't help at all, let me know too. Don't get confused with when you're asking for a sign of their presence around you, or making sure that they're around you. It's easy for us. It's part of human nature, like we believe what our eyes can see. But to focus on that part where we just focus on that sense, our vision, our visual senses. We're going to that's just being closed-minded, to a certain extent. Senses is not just all about vision. It could be, hearing, taste. I mean, have you guys ever, all of a sudden, out of the blue, you just can taste a certain food in your mouth, even though you're not eating it? I think that's a pretty awesome gift for any of you guys that have that out there. Or if you hear something, these are signs that there are spirits, and more than likely it's your spirit guides in this context, that they're around you. I'm going to transition to something that might be a little bit scary, which is when you guys feel the presence of a spirit around you. Some of us will feel it as just knowing that you're not alone. Some of us can actually see it. Some of us can hear it. But don't take for granted that the empath feeling, the feeling sense. And I talked about taking things for granted or not being grateful, I think, in episode 3. So if you guys are not sure what I'm talking about, go back and listen to that. Okay? So that's it. And I'll probably have more shows coming up for you guys next week. I'm going to take a couple of days off and enjoy the holidays with my family. And feel free to leave me any comments or feedback if you guys can. All right. Happy holidays. Take care. And blessings to all of you. Bye now.